And one of those things is light. Now, of course, we can't see without light, but there's so much more to light that most of us don't really understand. Light, like we think of it, is just one small part of something much bigger called the electromagnetic spectrum. And the wavelength changes from very short wavelengths on one end to very long wavelengths on the other. And what we see is just right in the middle. So right on this very short end is something called gamma rays. I didn't bring any today because we would all die if I had gamma rays here. But as we move our way to a little bit longer wavelength, and those are X-rays. So when you have to go in and they shoot X-rays in through your skin, it interacts with your bone and it takes a picture. So that's light, even though our eyes can't see it. We get to a little bit longer wavelength and we get up to something called UV or ultraviolet. So I've got something that's right on the edge of ultraviolet, which many people are familiar with. This is just a black light. So not perfectly ultraviolet, otherwise I'd be getting a tan right now. But if you've ever been in a tanning booth or you've ever been outside and gotten a sunburn,
Tier 5 Special and Collector's Edition blueprint map in low light conditions, because if you shine UV light over the map, it reveals loads of secret things. So I'm going to give you a closer look at some of these features. We'll start on the back. The back is without any UV light, just completely blank. Introduce UV light, and there's a huge message on the back. So it starts with the letters TPE and it says Trevor Phillips. It says Industries, which is scribbled out and changed to Enterprises. So we have some more X's in the C. This says Titan P996 laser buzzard. Take control, and then this whole area is circled.
And it's the exact same stuff as the light we see around us, just a little bit different wavelength. Then we get into that visible, the visible little tiny chunk of what we can see. All the colors of the rainbow are inside visible light. I'm just using a CD here because it bends the light. So when you look out and you see a rainbow, you're just seeing the sun's rays passing through droplets of water. Think of each one of those droplets of water like a prism. Okay, prism's falling out of the sky, sun's rays are hitting it, and it's bending that light into the colors of the rainbow. To radio waves. When you go and you tune your radio into your favorite station, you're really listening to a light signal, because radio waves are just like visible light, but a really long wavelength, and it's passing through the air, and we can tune in to just one small portion of that frequency, and you can listen to your favorite radio station. And here's the thing I like to talk about with radio waves. When you tune into your favorite station, it doesn't mean that all the other stations went away. They're still there. It's just like our eyes. Our eyes are tuned into one small piece of the spectrum, but it doesn't mean the other ones aren't there. They exist, and they're all around us all the time.
Do your worst. You'll never find the spectrometer.
close to 1,000,000 volts. And yet the most sinister thing about it is there's no flash, no bang.
There you go. There you go. Excellent work. Excellent work.
Udor's lens is made up of regular vertical lines across the entire surface. We can actually magnify these without the use of a microscope if we just have another one. If we put these together, especially in front of a light source, we start to see something called the Moiré effect. The Moiré effect allows us to provide a sort of false magnification as we rotate these lenses together. We start to see lines form, and these lines are an optical illusion, a sort of false magnification. On the surface of these lenses interfere with one another. We're actually not seeing individual lines on the surface, we're seeing a cumulative effect, different segments of each line added together to make it look like each line is much larger than it is. And in fact, these lines are facing the opposite direction than they look. They're facing vertically, when with this effect they actually look like they're going horizontally. Now, this type of lens went viral recently thanks to one particular company demonstrating these for use for military and police applications. For use for military and police applications.
It was very bright and it overpowered the image of me being smeared across it. And so it appeared as though I were just invisible. So even though my image was still there, it was smeared. I'm just gonna shine my laser on my diffractive optical element here and watch what it can make. So the point source now, but when it hits this part of the DOE, it makes a constellation with stars. So cool. And then if I shine it up here, it can make an image of the Earth. And when I pan it along it, it makes it look like the Earth is spinning.